Welcome to Joe's Astrology, and we're looking at Beyonce and Jay-Z Love Astrology Synastry. This is what's called Synastry. I just did a video. It's titled Something About Love. It's really about composite charts. When we put these two charts together, they become one, and they become a chart for a couple. And I do a pretty decent investigation of Jay-Z and Beyonce's composite, so check that out. I'll link it down in the description. But this is the synastry between Jay-Z and Beyonce. And let's start with the seventh house. What your partner may look like. Not necessarily what your partner will look like, but what we see when we look at many people's synastry. So let's start with Jay-Z. Jay-Z's here on the right. He has Pisces on the seventh house. He has the North Node on the seventh house. So let's take a look at the North Node. We can just very quickly see in his partner the North Node. Let's take a look at Beyonce's North Node, and see if there's any emphasis on the North Node, and there is. The North Node has Mars within 1 degree conjunct near the midheaven, one of the strongest points of the chart. So we could say that Jay-Z's partner is somebody who's going to relate to their North Node, who's going to have heavy emphasis on the North Node, who's going to, we could say, live a forward-moving, purposeful life. There's other things that people say about the North Node. I'm just going to look at this at the very obvious. So let's go back to Jay-Z, and we can see that Pisces is on the seventh house, and Pisces is ruled by Neptune. So we can go back to her chart, and we could say, well, Jay-Z his partner is going to be a Pisces. Well, not necessarily. We can look at her chart. There is no Pisces. We see Pisces here on the 6th. But let's take a look at her Neptune. And her Neptune is here at 22 degrees. It's right on the 3rd house cusp. So it's on the cusp of a house. It's a very important, really an important cusp, the 3rd house. So what is she thinking about? What kind of mind does she have? And we can see that it is a very Neptunian mind. And it's also in Sagittarius. They are Sagittarius in the 3rd house cusp, which is also the ruler of Pisces, Jupiter. So we can start there. We can look a little deeper, and let's look at the aspects to Neptune. And we can see that she has Moon in almost an exact aspect to Neptune. She has Neptune in almost an exact aspect to her ascendant, off of just 1.5 degrees. Ascendant's at 20 degrees, Neptune's at 22. She has the same almost exact aspect to Venus at 20 degrees. And an almost exact aspect to her midheaven at 21 degrees. If we look a little further here, we can see that there might be a quintile between, if we do the math real quick, 30, 60, 82 minus 9, there's a quintile between Neptune and Saturn. Creative actualization with the work, with music, Neptune, Saturn, quintile. So without looking any further, we could also say loosely that, real quick, the moon is in the Pisces decan, ruled by Neptune, and the sun is in opposition to Pisces. So stop there with that. Let's take a look at Beyonce's 7th house. Beyonce's 7th house is ruled by Aries, ruled by Mars. So we can go to Jay-Z's chart here. What kind of Mars and Aries activity do we have? Well, he doesn't have anything in Aries. However, he has Pluto, Moon, in the and Uranus in the first house, the Aries house. Particularly the Moon, though, in the first house. So very much going to act like a Aries Moon, and it's also in the opposition. It's in the opposition to Aries. So I've said this before, the opposition, the polarity of any sign is inherently in the sign. So we have that. We take a look at his sun. His sun is in the Aries decan, much like her moon was in the Pisces decan. It's at 11 degrees Sagittarius. Now let's take a look at the Mars. His Mars is at 21 degrees Aquarius on the 6th house cusp. So very much like her Neptune, his Mars is on a cusp of a house, his house of work. His Mars is almost in a it's in a close aspect to, close trine to his midheaven, what he's known for. It's in a quintile, just like her Neptune with Saturn. The ruler of his 7th house and the ruler of her 7th house are both in a quintile with Saturn. Creative actualization with the work. And when we look at, if you watch the composite, when we look at the composite, how interesting that the composite has so much emphasis on what they're doing together as a couple, as a working relationship, as being known for their working relationship. Mars, again, here is making a loose aspect to Neptune and Venus. It's making an exact aspect to Mercury. A loose aspect to Jupiter. And then Pluto as well, and the ascendant. So that is, I'm going to stop there. That's enough for me to determine that this is, there's probably much more, but this is the beginning. We can see that very much that these two are compatible, if not fated to come together in this life as a couple. So I hope you enjoy that. Again, check out in the link in the description the composite, and as always, I am available for readings. I prefer face-to-face readings. We can take a look at your chart. We can look at Synastry. We can look at different partners in your life, etc. So my website there is down in the description as well, and I hope you have a great day.